If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. Once you feel you're voided by someone, never disturb them again. A love like that was a serious illness, an illness from which you never entirely recover. Remember, when you point a finger at someone, there are 3 more pointing back at you. It's possible to love a human being if you don't know them too well. Keep your distance from people who will never admit they are wrong and always try to make you feel like it's all your fault. Some people never go crazy. What truly horrible lives they must lead. The problem with the world is that the intelligent people are full of doubts, while the stupid ones are full of confidence. Sometimes you climb out of bed in the morning and you think, I'm not going to make it. But you laugh inside, remembering all the times you felt that way. I wanted the whole world or nothing. The problem was, you had to keep choosing between one evil or another, and no matter what you chose, they sliced a little bit more off you until there was nothing left. The less I needed, the better I felt. Every time you judge someone, you reveal a part of yourself that needs healing. There is always one woman to save you from another, and as that woman saves you, she makes ready to destroy you. An intellectual says a simple thing in a hard way. An artist says it in a hard thing in a simple way. Being alone never felt right. Sometimes it felt good, but it never felt right. The difference between a democracy and a dictatorship is that in a democracy you vote first and take orders later. In a dictatorship you don't have to waste your time voting. We are here to laugh at the odds and live our lives so well that death will tremble to take us. As the spirit wanes, the form appears. Some lose all mind and become soul insane. Some lose all soul and become mind intellectual. Some lose both and become accepted. You have to die a few times before you can really live. There are worse things than being alone, but it often takes decades to realize this, and most often when you do, it's too late. And there's nothing worse than too late. If you're losing your soul and you know it, then you've still got a soul left to lose. Love yourself unconditionally, just as you love those closest to you despite their faults. People with no morals often consider themselves more free, but mostly, they lack the ability to feel or love. There's a loneliness in this world so great that you can see it in the slow movement of the hands of a clock. Begin saving the world by saving one man at a time. All else is great, grandiose romanticism or politics. Health does not always come from medicine. Most of the time, it comes from peace of mind, peace in the heart, peace of soul. It comes from laughter and love. If you reveal your secrets to the wind, you should not blame the wind for revealing them to the trees. No matter how many times a snake sheds its skin, it will always be a snake. Remember that before allowing certain people back into your life. When people start talking against you, it means you are growing. If you're in a position to help someone, help them. God just might be answering that person's prayer through you. One of the best feelings in the world is knowing that someone is happy because of you. Every work has to pass through hundreds of difficulties before succeeding. Those that persevere will see the light sooner or later. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Don't feel sad over someone who gave up on you. Feel sorry for them because they gave up on someone who would have never given up on them. Every woman deserves a man who loves and respects her. Every man deserves a woman who appreciates his efforts. The couples that are meant to be are the ones who go through everything that is meant to tear them apart and come out even stronger. Even the strongest people make time to help others, even if they are struggling with their own problems. Sometimes, quiet people really do have a lot to say. They're just being careful about who they open up to. Discussions are always better than arguments, because an argument is to find out who is right, and a discussion is to find what is right. If a woman lacks for a long time, soon she will begin to understand that she wants more than just physical contact. She will long for an emotional bond that vibrates in harmony with her heartbeats. Real loneliness is not necessarily limited to when you are alone. Without literature, life is hell. Don't stress about the closed doors behind you. New doors are opening if you keep moving forward. Hugs matter. Remember, one hug from the right person takes all your stress away. It takes about 66 days for an average individual to make something a daily habit. Studies say that individuals who could instinctively use sarcasm to tackle a frivolous question have healthy minds. Individuals who have a deep sense of guilt are better at identifying the emotions and concerns of the people around them. We're naturally second-minded because other people don't approve. Yawning to have someone else's yawn is a normal phenomenon, despite not feeling exhausted or asleep. One of the myths regarding its infectiousness is that people catch it to express empathy. An average individual's mind wanders 30% of the time. Eye pupil rises to 45% when an individual looks at somebody they love. During the 7 minutes of neural activity before dying, you will see your memories in a dreamlike pattern. Having siblings is proven to help with getting along well with peers. The way an individual treats the employees at an establishment tells immensely about their character. Normalize marrying to a man who isn't financially stable. You can grow together. Don't put pressure on men. People at the same level of attractiveness are more likely to end up together. When you love someone more than they deserve, surely they will hurt you more than you deserve. If the relationship doesn't make you a better person, then you are with the wrong one. In times of discomfort, men typically prefer to touch their faces, while women prefer to touch their necks, clothing, jewelry, arms, and hair. Invest your time in someone that makes you feel appreciated even on your worst days. That's real love. Staying quiet doesn't mean you've got nothing to say. It means you don't think they're ready to hear your thoughts. A girl is happiest when she knows you make her your everything in front of everyone, every time. According to the study, people over the age of 70 years were found to live 22% longer lives if they had a network of true friends. Smiling too much is generally a sign of someone experiencing emotional pain. When you find a king, keep him. When you find a queen, love and protect her. Don't reshuffle your cards, because you might end up picking a joker. Real love is when you know they'll never come back, but you still miss them in a single hope. When someone lies to you, it's because they don't respect you enough to be honest, and they think you're too stupid to not know the difference. Love is a kind of heavenly passion that can be enormously pleasing and blissful. Women get to a point in their life where it's not about sex anymore. It's about having a real man to love, trust, and have her back. When a woman no longer gets frustrated and upset with you, you can almost guarantee that she doesn't care anymore. Men and women who listen to similar music tend to be better communicators and have long-lasting relationships. Nothing is as beautiful as seeing someone who has been unlucky in relationships finally being loved effortlessly by the right person. Relationships are not about kisses, hugs, and romance. It's all about trust and never giving up on each other. Ever keep your distance from people who will never admit they are wrong and always try to make you feel like it's all your fault. Men and women who listen to similar music tend to be better communicators and have long-lasting relationships. Women are more comfortable with someone who tries to get to know her before trying to form a relationship with her. Psychology says friendship is not about who you spend the most time with. It's about who you have the best time with. There are some people who always seem angry and continuously look for conflict. Walk away. The battle they are fighting isn't with you. It is with themselves. Ironically, sometimes the people who don't talk to you are the ones who really want to. Many people think love is full of joy, smiles, romance, but the actual truth is love is full of hurt, pain, and crying. When you cut off someone from your life, they will never tell people the full story. They will only tell people the part that makes you look bad. Don't force someone to remember you all the time. Just stay silent and let them realize how they will be without you in their life. A finger that wipes away your tears during hard times is greater than the 1,000 hands that clapped for your success. When someone stares at your mouth during a conversation, that person desires to kiss you. If you want to know if someone loves you, look at their eyes. If we are in love, the pupil expands up to 45%. A good relationship is with someone who knows all your insecurities and imperfections, but still loves you for who you are. Some people aren't antisocial. They're just very selective when it comes to who they associate with. Loving someone you don't see every day is not a bad thing. It's just proof that love is not in sight, but in the hearts. You never realize how much you love someone until you lose them, so don't take it for granted. You're most likely to have a crush on someone you actually know well and interact with regularly. It's a man's job to respect a woman, but it's a woman's job to give him something to respect. Once you love someone truly, you may get them out of your life, but can't get them out of your heart easily. A true man does not need to romance a different girl every night. A true man romances the same girl for the rest of her life. If you break a man's heart and he still respects you, has care for you, you have no idea what you have lost. The worst kind of pain doesn't come from enemies. It comes from people you love and trust the most. People change for two reasons. Either their minds have been opened or their hearts have been broken. You keep a lot to yourself because it's difficult to find people who understand. Sometimes, things that hurt you the most which teach you the greatest lessons of life. Keep your distance from people who will never admit they are wrong and always try to make you feel like it's all your fault. A man who truly loves you and wants you to be in his life forever will never give you reasons to doubt him. People who spend a lot of time on the internet are more likely to be depressed, lonely, and mentally unstable. Someone who becomes angry easily over silly things subconsciously desires to be loved. Fresh water does not dry up until everyone drinks from it. Be a good person, but don't waste your time to prove it. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. A woman's beauty does not lie in her face. A child who is not used to being beaten will cry if you touch him. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. Take care of your health. Establish good habits that will serve you for the rest of your life. Someone who loves you will not ask you to change, but will help you become better. Whoever is patient in a moment of anger will be saved from 100 days of sadness. Your time is a precious gift. Make sure it's given to the right people. Whoever does not learn from his mistakes will repeat them. Don't think there are no crocodiles just because the water is calm. You don't have to handle everything on your own. Be willing to ask for help. You cannot grow unless you are willing to change. Someone who loves you will tell you the truth, even if it hurts. Transformation happens only when you put your total energy into it. Chase experience, not things. What you do with your time will enrich your life more than anything you can buy or own. Think good thoughts. Being unhappy is a waste of your precious time. People will start missing you when they see how happy you are without them. Family isn't only defined by genetics. It's the people who love, support, and value you. The only person you can change is yourself. Accept others as they are, but don't expect them to be someone they aren't. Not every closed eye sleeps, and not every open eye sees. When you meet failure, remember that your ideas may not be wrong. Sometimes you've just got the wrong audience. The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will. Trying and failing is not laziness. The bad worker blames his tools. When you cut off someone from your life, they will never tell the people the full story. They will only tell people the part that makes you look bad. The bad news is, time flies. The good news is, you're the pilot of your life. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. If a tree doesn't know how to cut, the wind will teach it. No one can be an expert at everything. Don't let what you can't do hold you back. If a woman doesn't love you, she will call you brother. The only woman who knows where her husband is every night is a widow. If you treat someone's leg, don't be surprised if they use it to escape. There are no virgins in the maternity ward. Tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. There is always hope on the other side of despair. The family is like a tree. It can bend, but it cannot break. A man who has a good wife will never be on the road. No medicine can cure hate. If you find yourself getting upset by small things, it may be time to focus on healing. He who grows grapes on the side of the road and he who marries a beautiful woman share the same problem. He who does not have a fence around his land has no enemies. The marks of the whip go away, and the effects of insults do not go away. If a deaf person does not hear the sound of thunder, he will see raindrops. If the members of the herd are united, the lion will sleep hungry. Focusing primarily on your problems will only create more problems. Love is like rain. It doesn't choose the grass it falls on. The one who loves you is not the one who sees you every day, but the one who searches for you with his heart. Don't look for where you fell, but where you slipped. A wise man fills his head before he empties his mouth. If a woman screams during intercourse, you know that she is aroused. Once you carry water with you, you will remember every drop. Even if you make mistakes or progress slowly, you are ahead of those who are not trying. Success isn't built by the amount of time you put in, but by what you do during that time. If you raise a human being, you are raising one person, and if you are raising a woman, you are raising the whole family. It is better to be poor in youth than to be poor in old age. Your friends' problems become your problems. The smaller your social circle, the fewer problems you have. Most people stay in the same place for a reason. The things they hold dear are the anchor that holds them in place. Life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forwards. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. You spend all your health initially for wealth, and then you spend all your wealth for one day of good health. Every person in your life is a teacher. Some bring lessons about love and support, and others teach you what to avoid. Lower your expectations. Having high expectations of yourself and others is a recipe for chronic dissatisfaction in life. With every failure comes the experience needed to do better. Don't ignore a problem you see coming from a mile away. That foresight is a gift. Don't squander it. Pay close attention to those who say they love you, because so often they don't. They only use you. Trust in yourself and your first instinct on decisions. People are great at keeping secrets. They don't know. The people who say you can't and you won't are usually the ones scared that you will. You don't have to feel good about it. You just have to keep going. The feeling will pass, but you will remain. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Today is the oldest you've ever been in your life, and the youngest you'll ever be again. Don't judge each day by the halves you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. If you are a so-called nice guy, you will be screwed up in the worst possible way you can ever think of. Learn to be self-sufficient and realize you are a mortal who will suffer horribly later if you don't become independent and resourceful. Success is 5% brains and 95% consistency. Don't lick old woman's private area until you respectfully ask for consent and ensure that both parties are comfortable and willing to engage in any activities. Be careful who you call your friends. Rather have 4 quarters than pennies. Just let it be. If it's meant to be, it will happen. A ship in the harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. Set boundaries that work for you.